Hello, everyone. There's a little thing that goes on with mental health, and I like to call it the game. Just what is the game? Well, the game is that most psychiatrists and doctors really have no idea what mental health is. They need to categorize it, and so they come up with labels. And they do that because it makes us, okay, this is what's wrong with me. I can deal with that. Lots of people cannot deal with that. And the reason why they can't deal with that is because there's a big stigma behind the words mental illness. And these stigmas plays a large part of our lives. Once you've been classified as having a mental illness, it stays with you for life. I don't care how long you go being clean and well. Mental illness is part of who you are, was, or going to be. And that's the way the general population see it. I do something, no matter how minor it is for me, for the world may see it as a major thing and they say it's just crazy. That's the other stigma that has it. Lots of your media, like TV, your movies, the radios, the newspaper, all these YouTubes and all these Snapchats, TikToks, and everything, they all classify anything outside of a normal as being crazy. That's why I like to eliminate the word normal, because there is no such thing as normal. What you're used to may not be what somebody else is used to. So what you're doing, you think is normal, while somebody else just saying that's plain crazy. You have to realize that the words mental health, crazy, and just oddballs and abnormal and all like that plays together into one category, to one categorized, whatever, I can't pronounce it right. But the whole idea is that majority of the people do not understand what mental illness is. Not even the doctors. I'm going to go through a few of these, maybe not all of them, but a few of them. Depression. We know that there's some people out there that's always sad. No matter how happy things are, they're always looking at things in the opposite way. We like to call these people the people that have a glass of water that's 98% full that's been not complete. And so they're always sad. Doctors call this depression. Then there's the opposite of those. There are those that I feel just plain giddy all the time. But they have a kind of a wild way of being giddy. Now, always looking cheerful on life, even though their glass of water is only 2% full. Oh, I've got 2% of water in there. I'm just happy. I'm just glad. And I'm going to show you how all these come together. But that's part of anxiety. A part of bipolar is ones that go from both depression and anxiety. They go from being very giddy to very sad. And they don't understand why this is going on. This is bipolar. It's like on that of a magnet. Right there in the center, no matter how closely you cut it to the center, there's always going to be negative and positive. And that's the way it is with bipolar. No matter how you cut it, it's either going to be a negative or positive. all right, this is good happening. And I know wherever something good happens, something bad's going to happen. All right, something bad happened. Whenever something bad happens, something good's going to happen. This is bipolar. Now, we have what's called manic. Now, manic is going from one extreme to the other of the bipolar spectrum. These are ones that, if they're real low, they may swing to be very high in one moment and very low in another moment. And these are drastic. You'll see somebody just bawling their eyes out because they're so depressed, and the next moment just laughing terribly loud and loud. It's like nothing ever was wrong. These are manics, and they cannot control each one of these symptoms. People cannot control, no matter if they're depressed, anxiety, or bipolar, or manic. They can't control these emotions. They need medications to help them become stabilized in this. Now, I'm going to get to schizophrenia right now. What is schizophrenia? And I'm going to let you look it up. But from what I could tell, schizophrenia is not what you think it is. Anybody can claim to be schizophrenic, but does that make them that? No, schizophrenic is the terminology that doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, clinical uh, management, and all like that, like to classify people in when they have no other diagnosis for them. The schizophrenic can go from manic to bipolar to anxiety to depression, back and forth. But they also have what's called an underlying schizoaffective thing. And this schizoaffective is that they hear voices and see things, just like I do. But it all starts at some place. They don't realize it, but it has a starting point. I mean, a tree does not grow without the seeds, and the seeds does not happen without the tree. So which came first, the tree or the seed? It does not matter, because when the tree falls in the woods and nobody's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound, who cares? The tree fell. Another tree's going to grow in its place. It's going to keep on going and going and going. That's the way it is. And that's the way it is with schizophrenic. You need to find out what caused it. But most people are satisfied with saying, okay, I'm schizophrenic, schizoaffective. I have schizo symptoms. I hear voices, I see things. Will they ever go away? No. If you're true schizophrenic, no, they will not. Then there is the extreme part of schizophrenic. And there's been a lot of movies that come out about it. And the scariest movie that's ever come out. And people like to think that it was Exorcist, but no. It was the one where I'm trying to think of it, where the shower scene, the guy just slashing somebody, and he had multiple personalities. He was himself, but he also was his mother. He had multiple personalities, and it was, I think it was called schizo or something like that. But anyway, that was the scariest, because you saw the woman getting stabbed several times in the shower scene. You never understood what was happening till you get to Bates Motel. That's what it was, Bates. And that's part of being multiple personalities. Now, with all these symptoms, there's another underlying portion called obsessive compulsive disorder. Most people that are schizophrenic or have any type of emotional wellness or emotional troubles, they will have obsessive compulsive disorder to either lesser or greater amount. And this obsessive compulsive thing is where they had to have order into themselves. Um, Without this order, it's hard for them to keep things straight. But when it comes to multiple personality, this OCD, it's called, plays a large part. Because when you have multiple personalities, you learn to deal with stressful situations in your life into different personalities. Okay, this has happened, so I'm going to have to be this type of person to deal with this situation. Or this situation calls for this personality to come out. And this goes on and on. And when you're seeing things and hearing things, these personalities play a part in each one of these visions that you're seeing or you're hearing. And OCD plays a large part in that. Now, lots of people like to fool themselves. They like to think that they get some semblance of an answer. There is no semblance of an answer. The true answer is we all at some time in our life have had an extreme emotional trauma. Me, when I was raped. It was also during my childhood when my mother said she didn't wish I was never born. It was also when I had no friends, no nothing. I was left on my own accord to figure things out in this world. And when you're 3, 4, and 5 years old, and the only friends you have are those in a graveyard, and you know they're dead, but yet you hear them talking to you, you see them wandering about. This is all part of the development of early childhood, but it stays with a person for the rest of their life. Thus, that person listens to these voices and sees these things, and they develop. Okay, this is going to happen, so I need to be this person. I need to be that person. Thus develops a multiple personality disorder. Schizophrenic has already taken psychosis has already taken over, and it's not going to play out till later years in your life when you wonder why in the hell was I so mean? Why did I do all that? I know better. I don't like doing, but it's going to play out. What you have done is emotionally detached yourself. It's just like a person being raped or a girl being raped. Where I saw what was happening, but I couldn't control it. It's like I was hovering over my body. Somebody going through a heart attack or a stroke and all, they've detached themselves emotionally to a point, but they can reattach. When you're fully in psychosis, you cannot reattach yourself until you figure out where it begins. And that's what I've done. I know where mine started, and I know the things that I've done, and I know the things that were done to me. And I know that I was not emotionally attached till I was in my mid 50s. Detached in early childhood, 3 or 4 years old, reattached by the time I was in my mid 50s. During that time, I had no control over what I was doing or what I was saying and where I was going. I was emotionally detached. During this time, I was searching for any type of acceptance, no matter where I was at, what was going on. Acceptance is the biggest part, but it's not acceptance from others, from your doctors, from YouTube, Snapchat, TikTok, or anything else. It's your acceptance that, yes, this is what's happened to me, and this is what I need to do to recover. Now, I want you to take time, go research what these mental health diagnoses are. Go to Wikipedia, go to Google, go to all these different sites, and you'll find out that most of them really don't know. It's only the people or the person that's lived this experience has a clear understanding. The doctors don't know, even though they too have lived the understanding or the experience, they just don't know it. But that's what mental illness is, not knowing. Emotional wellness, and I'm an ambassador for that, it's one that still have all these things going on, but has a acceptance and a understanding of what it's all about. Take time to do your research, and you'll find out with David. Y'all have a good day. Bye bye.